Hey guys. So first of all, it's freezing outside. I got my scarf out. I got my big jacket out today. Oh, it's cold. It is beginning to look a lot like winter. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? It's not Thanksgiving yet. All right, that you don't say the word until after Thanksgiving. Okay. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about your significant other's relationship with your kids. So if you have kids, this one is for you. I know not everybody goes through med school with kids. Probably a smart idea. But for those of you who are like me and have kids, this hopefully will be helpful for you. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that they are your significant other is super busy. So it's really hard for them to take time for the kids. I mean, they're always trying to find more ways to take time with you and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes the kids get overlooked a little bit, especially if you have a husband like mine that isn't quite as great with time management as other spouses are. He's very focused on what he has to do. It's okay, I've got this much I have to do today, and I can't do anything until it's done. And so that's kind of his mindset. So it's really difficult for him sometimes to say, I am going to do this and pay attention to the kids, and then I'm going to do this and do that. So it's really hard for him to have like time management. But something that we have done is I've done a lot better about asking for help from him. I used to be really, really worried about asking for help. I don't like to ask for help from people. It's really difficult for me because I don't want to feel like I'm burdening anybody. I like to make people happy. And when I feel like people are doing things for me, it's making me happy and not them. When I know like it should be making them happy to help somebody, but for me it just feels like I'm burdening them. So I've done better about asking for help. So I will say, hey, can you like get the bath started, spend that little bit of time, while I'm putting away dinner or something like that. So it's not like a huge commitment, but it's just a little bit of time. Some of my friends, I talked to some of my friends about like things that they do. They talked about putting aside one-on-one time with the kids, which I think is a great idea, which is something that we also do. So say, all right, you've got 5 kids, you got to set aside time for 5 kids, right? So either set aside time that you do a family thing. I think it's also really great to do one-on-one with each kid. Say, kid number 1, this Friday, you and I are going to spend 30 minutes doing whatever it is that you want to do, or, whatever. And then second kid, next Friday is your turn, 30 minutes of whatever you want to do, something like that, something that you can schedule in advance, or they can schedule in advance with that kid to give them that one-on-one time. Another one, one of my friends was talking about how their husband helps out with the bedtime routine, which is also a great idea. My husband did that while he was in the master's program, but as he started med school, it was a little bit more difficult for him to do. Last year he helped with just the bath, and then I would do the bedtime. Now we have it set up that every Sunday he will do bedtime routine with the kids. That's his day. He takes away from studying and all that stuff, and it's, that's kid family day. So she said that her husband helps do bath time and bedtime. I didn't really actually ask like exactly what, if it's like every day or something, but she said that he helps with the bedtime routine, which is also really great. They have 1 kid, so that's really easy for him to set aside time for, whereas some of my other friends have 4 or 5 kids, and I don't even know what to do with 4 or 5 kids. I only have 2. So obviously the more kids you have, the more difficult it is. But your family, your needs. take some of these ideas and roll with them, roll with what works, and make sure that you talk with your kids about why they don't get quite as much time with your significant other as they do with you. My oldest, she's 8 years old. She doesn't quite understand. She knows daddy's home, daddy's studying. So if daddy's home, then why isn't he coming and playing board games with us? Why can't daddy come and do this? Like, she doesn't understand, and so she'll be like, oh, well, dad's lazy, or dad's just sitting in his study room, or something like that. And she doesn't understand that he doesn't have the opportunity to just stop whenever he feels like it and put everything down and walk away from it. He has to finish what it is that he's doing and find a time that he can take a break. So that's really difficult for her to understand. And of course, my youngest is 2, and she woke up in the middle of the night the other night, and she just, honestly, all she wanted was a hug from daddy. That's all she wanted. She doesn't understand. She does really well because she's home all day long, and he'll come upstairs and get some breakfast with us and, slowly do the day kind of thing. So she sees him more often than my oldest, but there's still not that like one-on-one that they need. So really talk to your kids about what it is that your significant other is doing, why they're doing it, and why it has to be the way that it is. Get your significant other to explain to your child, that they do love them, that they do appreciate them, they do want to spend time with them, and then say, hey, let's set out some time, just you and me, to do something. What do you want to do? Okay, great. I'm free this day. Why don't we do it then? Let them have that conversation with them. Let them do that. I definitely would suggest making sure that they say goodnight to the kids, whether it's a goodnight hug, kiss, prayer, whatever it is that you do in your family. I would suggest doing that every night. My husband will go in. I put my oldest to bed. He'll go in, and he always tells her goodnight after I go in. He'll give her hugs and kisses, tell her goodnight, and he'll come back and study. So I think it's very important. I mean, even just those small little things is really good for them. So if you're struggling with that, we are all struggling with it too. So don't feel left out. If you have any questions about anything, please comment. Ask me. I would love to help you. I would love to answer your questions. There are lots of us going through the same thing, and if I don't have any advice or answers for you, I'm sure somebody will. We're all going through this together, so let's work together on it. So comment with those. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to subscribe, so that way you can keep up with all of our journeys that we're taking together. So I'm going to let you go. Have a great night. Kiss your babies goodnight, and make sure your significant other does the same. So see you guys later.